Oh. Hey, we're back.
Yeah, you all ready?
I don't think we ever left.
Did we gave birth to her in here?
Yeah.
You gave birth to her. I don't like saying we.
Yeah.
There are parents who
We.
say that. We say we had our baby. We gave birth to. I didn't do fucking shit.
I stood there and
sat
watched.
there. Yeah. I sat there stressed out. She did all the work. Oh shit, guys, we fucking got Marceline. We got our little baby now. She's here. I can finally say her name because
Oh, okay.
we're calling her baby Balrog for a little while. We can still call her baby Balrog.
Yeah, that's still her
No,
nickname.
of course.
Yeah, we took a break for a week, and then we're like, we could probably still do the podcast. And I floated that idea to you, and you said you were down.
The only reason why we took a break was because we got busy, and then we were busy again, and then the day we were going to record, a little bit, but it's okay. The day we were going to record, I thought I was in labor, or at least going into labor.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, kinda, almost.
Yeah.
I mean, like the day, or I don't even know if it's a day, like
Wednesday we were going to record.
some amount of time after. But then 24 hours, easy.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yeah, the reason we didn't record last week was not because of her. It was because
I had a scheduling thing on Monday that got screwed up,
and then
Tuesday
just
got goofed.
Yeah, Tuesday you just
And then
were
Wednesday
just weren't
I was
feeling
like,
good.
I was like, I think the baby's coming today, and
Okay. Well, since this is the podcast, I'm gonna revel in the story of how that all went down. If that's okay with you.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to go through it fast because it's long, and I've also said it like 8 times now. So Wednesday night, we went to what is it?
That's my timeline.
Oh, the timeline. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I made a timeline.
So we on Wednesday night, you were having pretty bad contractions, and we were actually before I say this, I want to say this first because I don't want to just jump into the story here. Y'all, because it's at the beginning, y'all. I love you guys so much. You guys have been so kind, and you guys have been sending us so many nice messages, and there have been a lot of you who have been talking to us, and you guys are just fucking cool, and we are super, super happy. We're doing really good. We're, a little tired, but that's okay.
I took a nap.
We took a little nap. Last night, she slept for so long.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't get all fussy, and you were feeding her, every 3 hours, but we were able to sort of sleep from 12 to 10 without ever having to get up, which was so awesome. Like, you had to get up to feed her, but without having to get up and wake up, which we had to do a couple of nights. But so feeling really good today. But thank you, everybody. We love you guys so much. Super excited.
Yeah.
But anyways, here was the timeline. So Wednesday, we went to the hospital at around 9 p.m.
Sorry, there's a little buggy over
No,
here.
you're good. Around 9 p.m. And because your contractions were lasting for 1 minute every 5 minutes, which is when you're supposed to go. So we go in, they check us, they make sure that we're not taking anything in. We go through the ER side, we slowly make our way up. We're just like, maybe this is it. Maybe we're gonna have the baby right now. And they go over towards you and. They put you in a room. I don't know where my words are right now, guys. I'm sorry.
Took me to triage.
Yeah,
check me
in the
out.
triage. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they check you, and you're only out of 1. For those of you who don't know, that is a scale in which they measure how close you are to giving birth. It is how many centimeters your cervix is dilated, and it goes from 1 to 10. Like 1 is
It's opening up.
it's maybe soon, and 10 is like the baby is literally here, like is coming right now.
Yeah.
So that is the scale. And they wouldn't take you unless you were a 4, which means that we would stay at the hospital and we'd be in a room.
She said we could take you at a 3. Some doctors won't keep you till you're a 5. And it was just depending who was there. So she was saying 4 would be the best to keep me.
So they checked you. You're only a 1. So we're like, well,
right.
great. And
Cool.
so they sent us home. So we came back home, and you went to go lay down because you were just in pain. And I was playing some Elden Ring. And I was playing for a little while till about 11, and I was like, man, there's just this weird owl like outside. Like, we have owls in our backyard that are really loud, and I was just playing the game, and I would pause the game, and I'm like, maybe it's the game? I don't know. And then I hear more of it, and I'm like, hang on. And I find out that it's you, and you're like in our bedroom, like, like in a lot of pain. And I was like, okay. And we were tracking him and everything. You could barely stand. You could barely walk through your contractions. You couldn't even talk through your contractions. I was like, we're going to the hospital again right now. It was maybe midnight. Or something like that. It was probably like 12:30. So 12:30. Time was kind of like a haze at this point. But I was sending messages to my family the whole time, and then you wrote down a timeline of everything. So now I'll know what time it actually was. So we go to the hospital, and they check you, and it's about 1:30 a.m. at this point. They rush you up there in a wheelchair, and then we wait for 40 minutes.
When we first went, they made us go through security. They checked our bags. When we went back again, they were like, for labor and delivery, and they put me in a wheelchair, and they just zoomed us on up. They're like, if you have a gun, oh well.
They zoomed us up to wait. Yeah. And then we sat there and we waited, and then they got us into the triage, and then they checked you, and you were a 3, and they were like, well. And I was like, we're not fucking going home. We're not.
Yeah,
and
they said they were going to admit me, but they were going to make me wait another hour in triage.
So an hour and a half later, at 3:30? That's at 3:30? Yeah. Yeah, because they had sort of checked you around 2. And then because I remember it being 2, and then it was like an hour. We were like, I knew in my head, it was like, okay, at 3 o'clock, we're probably going to get to go into a room. And the lady didn't come back till 3:30, which is when...
They were very understaffed and very busy.
Apparently I didn't know that at the time. I was going to get to it. Yeah. So, but I'm sitting next to you who's in a lot of pain, and I'm like, please, can we not be in this triage? Like this is like the sad area of the hospital. There's like other people like around us who are also in pain. Like it sucks, and you can't even like talk through what's going on, and I'm exhausted. So, then they finally checked you at 3:30. You were at 5, so they brought us to a room. That was great. And then that's when we found out we had like one nurse, and we found out that they were really understaffed and they were super busy and there were a lot of babies being born. We found out afterwards, not at the moment, we found out afterwards that day they delivered like 30 babies, and we were like, whoa, that is crazy. So, anyways, you got a lot of people who have the same birthday as you, baby. Anyways, so we were in the room, the nurse was doing all the stuff, going through checks with you, asking if you want the epidural. For those of you who don't know, an epidural is a medication they put into your spine that has a gigantic needle they
put a needle in your back, and then they put a tube into your back.
Yep,
and
it basically numbs your torso down. Like you can only move your arms basically in your head. And it's just to help with pain, because it is extremely, extremely painful to have the contractions and to push the baby out. So they asked you if you wanted it. You said yes. And then they were like, okay, we're going to give you fentanyl. Fentanyl is just a pain reliever as well. And they were going to hook you up on that. So you're going through really painful contractions.
They gave me the fentanyl because they had to do tests before they could give me the epidural. Because if you're I don't remember what it is, but there's reasons why you can't have it.
You're having contractions and a lot of pain. The nurse comes in and is trying to give you an IV and is missing where your vein is, and then the doctor is like asking you all these questions, and you're just like, you're like getting stabbed, and you're having contractions. I was just like, oh my God, she's going through so much right now. I feel so bad. But you did really, really good. They got the IV in your arm eventually, and they were able to give you meds and fentanyl and all that stuff. And then as soon as you got the fentanyl, that she had to leave, and it was just you and I in the room. And that was at maybe 4:30 a.m. It took like a whole hour to do all that, and you were just like, "Bro, I'm high as a kite right now." And I was like, "Did it help?" And you're like, "I can still feel them, and they hurt, but I'm feeling funny."
When I wasn't having a contraction, I felt like sleepy, and like it was just like, okay, this is nice. And then, but when I was having a contraction, I could still definitely feel it.
Yeah. So,
you okay?
Sorry, yeah. I just switched around cold water in my mouth. Hurt my teeth. Okay. So, you had the fentanyl. We were good. I had not been more than a foot away from you this whole time. And like, yeah, I was tired, but I didn't care because you were going through so much. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to sit down for a second because I just wanted to sit down for just a minute. And there was a comfy chair in there. So I was just like, okay. So I sat because you were cool. You were just sitting there and I was like, all right. I watched like 2 TikToks. I went to the bathroom. I came back out, sat down again. And then you went, oh, my water broke. And I was like, oh. And this was at 4:46. And then you were just like, okay. And we were just like waiting. We called the nurse, but they were understaffed and they were busy. So we had to wait maybe 10 minutes. And then you just started feeling a lot of pressure. She came in and checked you and you were at a 9. And we were like, whoa, you were dilating 1 centimeter every hour. So when I did the math, I was like, you'll be at a 10 at 10, probably 10 a.m., which, is probably when you'll have her, 9 to 10 a.m. Nope. You went to a 9, and at 5, you dilated to 10, and you started pushing with the nurse, but the doctor wasn't there yet.
And the doctor went home because, when did she come in? 3:30?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I'll be back. She went home because I guess none of the people who were delivering babies were close enough. And first time mom, normally you push for, or you're in labor for 10 plus hours. No, she, so they had to call her, like, hey.
So you were sitting there with the nurse. This was probably the hardest part. It was just me, you, and this nurse, and you were pushing, but not pushing all the way because they wanted to wait for the doctor.
Yeah.
So you, every contraction, you would just push, and then you would stop, and you would push, and then you would stop, and then push, and then stop. And it was just to get her ready, just to get her to come out. And dude, you were in so much freaking pain. And I was just sitting there just like, oh, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you right now. Because you didn't have the epidural. That was the thing. You dilated to 9. They didn't have time for the epidural. No. So you were, besides the fentanyl, you could feel all of it. And you were, our nurse was great. You were doing really good. And then that went on for 40 minutes. And then the doctor finally showed up. They came in with another nurse. So there were 2 nurses and a doctor and me, and we were just waiting. Oh, before that, there was a point where the nurse in between contractions was like, hey, Dad, do you want to see? And I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to look.
Do you want to see her head?
And I was just like, and she was like, are you a fainter? And I'm like, I won't faint. It'll just make me way more scared. And I'm already really anxious. So I think I'm good. I trust you. But she was like, but I did ask her, I was like, can you see her head? She was like, yeah, I can see her head. And I was like, what? I was like, does she have hair? She's like, yeah, she has a lot of hair. And that destroyed me. I was like, oh my God, this is real. Holy crap, this is happening right now. So doctor showed up and they got all ready. It was about 5:45, and then not even they got ready and they went over towards you, and you were holding out your pushes. They got you ready. They turned all the lights on because you wanted it really dark in there. And they turned them all on. And then in 2 pushes, no more than maybe 5 minutes. You did 1 push and then we went back and then another push. And I looked over and I was like, man, this is going to take a while. And I looked over and whoop, she was out. And I was like, whoa, she's here. Oh my God. And she was, and they took that thing and they slurped out all of her gunk. And then she was crying. And I was just like, immediately started crying. And she got over towards you. You were just pale and you were just like, yay. She was on you and you were really happy, but you were also reeling because they were giving you stitches and all that stuff.
Did too.
Yeah. It was awesome.
She's here.
And then there was a moment where I took a picture of you too from a little bit further away. I have a little video, and she's still kind of looking around a little bit dazed, and then she looks down, she goes, hi. And then you look at her and you're like, and you go like that. And I was like, oh. And it was really good. She came out really hangry because you threw up 3 times while having contractions. And then she was hungry, and they took forever to get the lactation consultant to come in to get her fed, but eventually she fed and she was good. And then we had to stay at the hospital for 48 hours because not because you had an epidural, but because they didn't have enough time to give you antibiotics. So we had to stay for 2 days. But first night was kind of scary and stressful. I was did not want her out of my sight at all. Like I couldn't even sleep. I was like, I have to know that you're alive at all times. There was a point I got her to sleep, which was good. I got you to go to sleep. Then we kind of traded, and I got to sleep for a little bit, like 3 hours in like a chair, and then we were up for the day. And then that night was a lot better because we kind of knew we were going. Every night has just been better and better and better. Yeah. Much less anxious about her suddenly dying in her sleep because she's been doing really good. She likes to sleep on her side. We figured out her schedule a little bit. She's like, I want to talk on the podcast.
You want to talk on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Okay.
My turn.
You want to take her?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could. Oh, she did.
Come here. Oh, fine. Fine then.
No, you can take her. She was crying because she had to burp.
Baby. Sorry, audio listeners.
Imagine the baby.
Yeah.
Imagine
a baby.
Imagine a baby.
Right.
She's swaddled.
Yeah.
She's very cute.
She's in her Lord of the Rings swaddle.
Yeah.
And she has her Star Wars shirt on.
She does have a Star Wars shirt on.
Because you're a big nerd already. Sorry. And when we finally got to come home, it was so relieving, so great. Mm-hmm. You've been healing really good. Mm-hmm.
The best part was when they took the IV out of my arm.
Oh my! The IV was worse than your stitches.
Yeah.
Every time they're like, "Are you in pain?" You're like, "No, but I want this IV out of my arm." Yeah, and it's been going good.
I'm kind of glad that they missed the first. They tried to put it right here at first, and I'm glad they didn't because that would have been so much worse.
Yeah.
They put it right here.
Why?
Because I feel like right here where my wrist joint is would have been a lot harder to maneuver than right here. It still sucked. I wanted to take a shower and be able to actually hold her well, and I couldn't do either of those things.
Oh, and just to let everybody know, because we've been doing these a little later now, the podcast, we're now filming these a week before and then having them go up the week afterwards. Yeah. So this was filmed on June 6th. So this is, her birthday is June 2nd. Mm-hmm. She was born at 5:58 a.m. So it's like 4 days. 4 days old. You're doing so good. Mm-hmm. Yep. And she's just a big goober. And I've been so happy to wake up and do stuff with her. And we went to pediatrician, and she's super healthy, and just feel really lucky that it's just been going this well. Mm-hmm. So. Weirdly, though, I sweat a lot while I'm sleeping. I wake up drenched in sweat. I don't know if I'm just terrified while I'm asleep at all times, but I wake up and I'm just like, I'm so damp. But it's not like it's warm. I've never been this sweaty before while asleep.
You're a dad now.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got your lizard brain activated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's kind of awake right now. Look at her.
Yeah, look at that.
She wanted to see you.
Hello.
Keep peeping, little baby.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
She's like, I can't see that far, but
Yeah,
I know there's a guy over there.
I can hear her voice.
So, do you want to talk about, I guess this isn't a big thing. I didn't want this to be a segment, so never mind. But when we said her name, everybody was talking about Adventure Time, and it's Adventure Time probably was a big inspiration on her name, because I freaking love Adventure Time, and I love Marceline, and I really, when she's a little bit older, I really want to call her Vampire Queen, but definitely your D&D character was not an inspiration for her name, not at all. Just not even think about it.
You came to me with that name. I wanted to name her Darcy, and you.
I knew you liked Darcy. I don't like Darcy because
so I feel like Marcy's her nickname was a good compromise, and you liked Marceline. So
that was the thing. That was the first name I said though. Was I really like the name Marcy, and you were like, I really like that too. And I'm her full name would be Marceline, but we could call her Marcy. And you were like, oh, I like that. And I was like, I really like that too.
And then we both went,
we're good.
And then we both went, wait a second.
Yeah, it was we were I know when we said it, we were in the car, we were driving to Component, and then we turned, and then it was a few seconds silence. You're like, is this because of La Marcia? And I was like, no, not at all. Probably
and then
a little bit.
And then the book editor's name was also Marcy. No crying, baby.
We're back. Marceline was crying, and I thought it was a part of the podcast, and it wasn't. So, no one's going to hear you scream and cry. Anyways, what was I talking about?
I don't remember.
Her name.
Her name, that's right. And then her middle name
is Eleanor, which is Sam's daughter's name in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And it's spelled the same way because...
Double entourage with that one. Eleanor is Sam's daughter in Lord of the Rings, which I really like, but it's and she is in the last part of Return of the King when he comes back home and you see the door. That music that plays right there is called Eleanor, which Howard Shore composed for that, and that's the name of Sam's daughter that he's holding as he walks in. And that was the music that you walked into at our wedding. And so, little double entourage. It's like it's Sam's daughter, but also it's the music from our wedding. So, yeah, and also it's pretty and it's very fitting for you. So, yeah. And her legal last name is Best Buds.
It is.
Because unless you have never watched the first episode of this podcast, which a lot of you have not, Spence, it's called We're Best Buds, and we explain how your legal last name,
my government name,
your government name is Best.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm just so very funny.
You're so fucking hilarious.
I'm so very
Spencer
funny.
Worst.
Yeah.
You're cool. But we
I'll
hyphenated our
legally
last
change my
name.
name. I'll do it.
Yeah, and we're Best Buds. And so her last name is Marceline Eleanor Best Buds.
It is.
And it's kind of goofy, but, it's cute.
Yeah.
So, anyway, shut up about the baby already, Spencer. God.
Nobody knows how to spell your last name. I've said it like 15 times in the past 4 days, and everyone's like, "What? How?"
Like the nurses?
Yeah, the nurses.
If you're talking to somebody who needs my last name is not Buds. It's Buds, B-U-D-Z, Buds.
Yeah.
You have to spell it. Otherwise, people are like, huh? And then they'll take a second and realize I already spelled it and go, got it. Because I have to say it so much. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people think it's with an S or a G. They think it's Bugs. It's like, Bugs, huh? It's unfortunate.
It is
of
unfortunate.
a last name. So, but yeah, we're doing good. We watched. I'm kind of in a Star Wars kick right now because
Kenobi's very good.
Kenobi's so fucking.
We came back. Did we come back from the hospital and watch Kenobi, or did we do that before?
Wednesday night at 6 p.m. we watched Kenobi episode 3, and then
we went
that was the night we went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Have you watched Kenobi yet?
Yes.
Do you watch all of it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, spoilers ahead. I don't know when to skip to. I apologize. We're going to talk about Kenobi. What do you think? Oh, Craig.
It's Craig.
Oh,
Yeah,
Craig.
it was all right.
There was no
Alright.
there was no Baby Yoda.
No, yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
That's right. I forgot you don't like Star Wars. Never mind.
Yeah, Mia and Pinky watched it with me, and we thought it was pretty good. We did think that this is probably the better, I should say this, the better made TV show, even though I greatly prefer Baby Yoda in every aspect.
for
But
sure.
everything about it looks beautiful. You can tell that either there's a lot of money behind it or just they've given a lot of like well-trained professionals the reins of this. I think even
So,
Ian,
I was gonna say
Ian is
that.
like a director or at least some kind of producer has a lot of hand into it.
Yeah.
I think you can tell.
Episode 1 and 2 were okay. I was fine with them. I didn't want to judge it yet. I was waiting for the rest of the show come out, and it honestly wasn't even bad. I don't think they were bad at all. They were just kind of like, I guess there were a couple of parts that were kind of goofy to me.
Yeah.
The one everybody's memeing is the chase scene in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where that guy gets like stopped by a random branch. And we're like, what the fuck is this? But for the most part, it was good. I like Baby Leia. I like Baby. I like Little Leia. She's such a good child actor. Like, just really, really great. I love Ewan McGregor. I like Reva. You fucking assholes. Reva's great. Jesus Christ. Why are we so god? Anyways, I like all the characters. I like it great. The only thing that I was a little about in the first 2 episodes, and I know why they do it, is I felt like the pacing was weird because there would be moments of like intense climax and the characters are like walking. I'm like, what's going on here? And I know it's because they use that tech of like that big projector room that they use to like make like a CG background that's on like a wall that they track with a camera, so they can't like run around in those, which makes sense. It's fine. But when we watched episode 3, it was that scene in Ratatouille when the critic, I know I've referenced this before, but like when the critic eats the ratatouille and he's sent back to being a kid, it was like all of the things I've been saying about Star Wars recently. Like the prequels suck, the sequels they're fine, but whatever. I'm just not that big of a Star Wars fan anymore. I was sent directly back to being a kid, having the Legos, having the bed sheets, and just being in love with Star Wars. Watching Clone Wars when it first came out when I was like 10 years old, and I was just like, oh my god, I I like Star Wars again. Like I cried in the episode 3. I don't know what it was. That confrontation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader just awoke something within me that was just a deep longing that I had forgotten from Star Wars for a while. It was so well written. It was the cinematography was really good. I don't know, just that episode was so perfect in so many ways. That stormtrooper that got cut in half.
Yeah,
that was cool. There's just too many things. I just really enjoyed it.
He is quite a little gunslinger for sure.
Yeah, I like that he's just fucking shooting people. It's so good.
Yeah, I think the only problem I have with it, if I had to have a problem, is that I wonder if the early scenes with Leia, with the child actor, is recorded either first or after or something else, because she seems so much more comfortable with McKellen. And everything else in the early parts is just kind of, you could tell that she's either just not comfortable with these other actors yet. But the second she is with Obi-Wan and
McGregor, Ian McGregor.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
With him,
Ian McKellen,
you can tell that they're comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
And you can really tell that she slides into her role better, and everything about it just goes up. So I wonder if there's just, it's Obi-Wan. So she spends, I assume, most of the show with him. So it makes sense she's more comfortable.
Yeah. What I love about the show so far is that it's not just trying to be surface level. Here's what happened to Obi-Wan. There's a lot of really good, like, moments and things that Obi-Wan says that are deeper than sort of the surface level.
Yeah.
Like when he's trying to pretend to the stormtroopers that he's like, oh, sometimes I remember her mother. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, he's thinking about Padme.
The facade becomes too real sometimes.
Yeah. And then also there's even deeper things about that too, where like he, what was it? When he says that he wishes that he was his father, and if you really think about it, like he was there when she was born and knows where she is. Like he is almost acting like, their parents in some way, which is really, really cool too. And then that MAGA hat wearing truck driver who had the back the blue on the back of his truck. That's what everybody on Twitter is saying. Yeah. That's what I said as soon as we watched it. We watched it and I was just like, it's like having a "Let's Go Brandon" on the back of your car.
I will say that all of the costume design for this, through the roof.
Yes.
All of it's so cool. There's that scene where she flees from Obi-Wan and goes underneath that like giant like weird white looking mammoth dude, and then in like the lineup later with the Imperials like interrogating him too. I was like, what are you doing? You're interrogating that guy?
It's so good.
What do you think about the dinosaur bounty hunter guy?
I thought he was cool too. Yeah, I thought all of them were kind of neat. Yeah. I didn't really like what's his name, the guy from Eternals.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he was all right.
That felt really strange.
Yeah, he was a little goofy, but it was okay.
It mainly just like, why didn't they just have him like be good and go, oh, like someone got me, I guess I'll be good now. Because it's weird for him to take like a heel turn so quickly, and then like lay his life down for like what?
For like he like confronts Reva too. He's like,
I was like,
die.
whoa!
I was like, whoa! All right.
Look, I'm all about your conviction. I was just surprised that it happened so fast.
Yeah,
I think that was one of the goofy parts that I was like, what's going on? Was when she hears like the shooting happening between Obi-Wan and like the bounty hunters, and then she's like hip hopping between buildings, and it takes her like 10 scenes to get there,
a long
and then
time.
she like hops down and it's him, and I'm like, did all of this happen while you were just hopping around? Like,
that was the pacing problem I had with that episode. It's just that chase scene on that planet, and it was just kind of, the time was a little weird too, and like you'd go from like Obi-Wan getting John Wicked with everybody knowing his location to like a scene of the Grand Inquisitor and like 4 stormtroopers just like walking like they're going to, me and the boys heading out to Popeyes to get the chicken sandwich, and then like a scene later and Obi-Wan's like, ew, and I'm like, the pacing's a little weird, but not that issue at all with episode 3. I no joke would put episode 3 in the category of like Empire Strikes Back, probably the best movie. Underneath that, probably A New Hope. And then underneath that is Obi-Wan Episode 3. I just really liked it. I thought it was great. Okay. Darth Vader was super awesome. I like that Obi-Wan's scared. Like, he doesn't want to fight him. I like that he didn't know that he was alive, and this is how he finds out. And I started crying when he was just like, what have you become? And he's like, what you made me. I was like, ah! It was, oh man. So I downloaded Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Fallen Order, and
good.
And I've been watching Clone Wars, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck.
Good. I'm glad.
Clone Wars I never liked, and now I think I like it, and I'm like, this is weird. This one episode of Obi-Wan made me like all of this again. So yeah, Clone Wars is pretty good. It's kind of silly, but
Is that the cartoon?
yeah,
That's the only thing that I actually really like.
yeah, it's
is
pretty
Clone
good.
Wars. I
It's
like
pretty
Clone
good.
Wars. Everything else I'm kind of different about.
We've been watching it, and I just feel so bad for the clones every time. It's like, oh, this random one that doesn't have a name, he's gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
And then another
love the
clone will be
clones.
like, oh, Flesh died, and I'm like, oh, they love each other so much.
Shit.
Oh my god!
Camaraderie.
And like the second episode too. There's Plo Koon, who I know you're scared of. Plo Koon, whatever his name
Koon,
is.
yeah.
And they're just like, why are you trying to save us? We're clones. We're expendable. This is what we're meant to do. You know, we're nobody. And he's like, not to me, you aren't.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot of them have like little identities and stuff. And they
Yeah,
have
I
names.
love that they all have their own names.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And Rex is just such a fucking badass.
Yeah.
God damn it, they're so cool. I did watch like a 40-minute video by this YouTuber named Solar Sands, who does like art reviews, who made a video about how he feels bad for the droids in that show
Yeah.
because the droids are basically the butt of a joke
Yeah.
all the time, and they have this weird amount of sentience about them that isn't like a programmable robot.
Yeah, there's a bit in one of the episodes we just watched where a droid, they're like shooting at a ship and they're like, take it down. He's like, but sir, there are thousands of droids on that ship. And he's like, I don't care. And he was like, Roger, Roger.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
They're like really like stupid for being robots,
Yeah, what
and but they also get like comedically killed. Like they'll be like, "Yeah, I just got a promotion," and then he's like dead, or like they're.
Have you ever
There's
killed
this-
a Jedi? No, me
No.
neither.
and they just die. Or there's another one where I always think they're really funny though. Like I watched that video and I was like, this is dumb. And then I've been watching the show and I'm like, like there's this one where it just cuts and it's just these two of them and they're like, oh, my servos are really backed up. And they're like, you should go to the top floor and get your joints oiled. Feels great. Oh, I might have to do that. And then Anakin appears behind one of them and snaps its neck and he's like, ah! And it's done. It's so funny.
Why is Anakin's voice that deep?
I don't know. He's kind of yeah. He went from like
Hi, sir.
yeah. He went from
from
you turned her against me
No.
and
I do feel like they did some redo on the audio when they did the flashback. Because I remember that everyone the same thing, his voice being a little higher, and now I wonder if he
killed them, or he's like yes, master. I'm sorry, master. And then Clone Wars Anakin is like, Ahsoka, get out of there. Come on, Ahsoka, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Master Obi-Wan, I'm sorry. He's like so like he's like it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, they still feel like the same character though.
No, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I love that shot in episode 3 of Obi-Wan when he looks across the planet and he sees Anakin standing there with the robes on. I was just like, fuck, dude, come on, you can't do this. Somebody said this in a tweet, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
What I love about the show is that it's not about good guys versus bad guys. It's not the light side versus the dark side. There's so much nuance. There's so much gray. Yes, Obi-Wan's the good guy and the Inquisitors are the bad guy, but there's more of a focus on it's a character-driven story. It's like what it is. It's about Obi-Wan. It's about his struggle. It's about what he knows about Anakin. And yeah, that's Darth Vader, but it's also Anakin at the same time. It's about Leia, and it's about her story with Obi-Wan. And it doesn't have these gigantic overarching plots or anything like that. It's just this. It's just that, you know. And I love that. I think that's why I like it so much. It's really great. And wow, I love that part where Darth Vader just dragged him through the fucking fire. Man, that was so goddamn cool. I didn't expect that. How long do you think he was waiting to do that?
10 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
You think he thought about it like every day? Like he was just like,
Maybe.
if I ever find Obi-Wan again, I'm going to find some fucking fire and I'm going to just drag him through that shit. Oh, man. It was so good. Anyways, you guys want to do some questions?
Yeah, I'd love
Yeah,
to.
we can
Cool.
do that.
You want to take this baby?
I will.
All right. If you guys want to ask us questions, on Monday nights, unless we're busy, we ask questions on our Twitter @ArcadeArcane. Make sure you use the hashtag. And let's see what we got for some peeps today. Coming in at, what the fuck is this? Somebody threatening aura just asked, "Quick, say what's on your mind right now." Okay, here's a picture of Kirby.
Oh,
And look, right?
Curb.
Yep,
Look,
there it is.
Oh,
What's on my mind right now? That Kirby. That Kirby's looking real sweet.
how sad Obi-Wan's life was.
Yeah. Anyways.
Craig, what's on your mind?
Nothing.
Nothing
Head
at all.
empty.
Head
Yeah.
fucking empty.
Just stock sound of wind through a
Yeah,
tunnel.
Craig watching Obi-Wan Kenobi just being like,
Where's Baby Yoda?
well, yeah, I wonder if Baby Yoda
I was told
will
Baby
show up.
Yoda was going to be in this show. It's okay. That's not the same thing, but did I tell you that thing about
I mean,
Pink?
he could. He's
that-
alive.
He could
Yeah,
exactly
he'd
that.
just be
That
the
Pinky
infant
said
Yoda.
that.
Because he was in Order 66. That's right.
Yeah. Because so in Cars when we first watched it, Pinky told me that McQueen only said "ka-chow" once,
Yeah.
and that he said it like a million times. So I wonder if Pinky do the same thing. Oh no, Baby Yoda's going to be in like
Baby
the 7th
Yoda's the-
episode. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, rumor has it he's in the last episode.
that's the only reason I watched Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He shows up.
Fair
He
enough.
does.
Sorry, still spoilers for episode 3 of Star Wars of Obi-Wan. Darth Vader's fortress, though.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. That was sick as fuck.
I thought, at least my interpretation was that the vision that Obi-Wan saw wasn't just like his eyes; it was him astral projecting there.
That would be cool.
And unfortunately, I don't know if that's true or not. It's like that's if Luke can do it, why can't Vader do it at the height of his power and astral project and go? But I know where you're at.
I'm still alive.
That'd be so
Because I also don't know where in that timeline where because that other guy informs him that
Yeah.
they found him somewhere.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's like, I know where you're at. I'm coming.
I'm coming.
You're my goddamn kid.
Yep. Oh my God, when he walks through the village and by the way, he doesn't know he has kids yet.
Oh,
I don't think he
Yeah.
does. He learns this later. By canon, I think right now he technically learns when the Emperor tells him in Empire. But I know that there are comics where he learns later on, and they're really cool. So I don't know if he knows right now though yet. So I think he still thinks that his kids died with Padme. Anyways.
Interesting to find out.
I also don't think he knows he had twins either. I think he just thinks there was one kid and that they died. But he learns later on, I don't know when. I just know that there's this really cool comic panel that I've seen before where he finds out and he's in a Star Destroyer and he's looking out into the stars and then he just like puts his hand up on the glass and the glass just shatters. Like there's this huge crack that like goes through it. So anyways, that part though when he's walking through the village and he doesn't force choke that person. He just fucking snaps their neck. Holy shit. It was so good. Anyways, DM Crizzle asks, pick a character.
It's like any character.
Just any character, I guess.
Like from anything?
A kid Leia.
Yep. All right. Pick a character. They just said pick a character.
Yep. Pick any character.
I picked Baby Yoda.
The shit.
I want
Grogu.
Yeah.
That's his
I
name.
don't think
Can't
they
have-
gave her. I don't know if they named her, but it's the same actress that plays in Game of Thrones. She plays
Yes.
one of the Sands.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm. I forgot
I
her
pick
name.
her. I pick that lady.
Okay. What is their guide or textbook of expertise? Like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Volo's Guide to Monsters, etc.
Wow.
How to be spy.
Yeah. How to be spy. That'd
there
be
you go.
pretty good. Grogu's Guide to Eating Frogs.
Yeah.
Grogu's
He do
Frog
be
Guide.
eating frogs.
He do
Yeah.
He would have like a cookbook.
Yeah.
And it would mostly be like sashimi. It'd just be like raw everything.
Leia's guide to interrogation.
Oh, yep. There you go.
She always be interrogating somebody
Yeah.
and just really just
You're going for the throat.
what's that term the kids use? Mollywopping them. Sometimes she's like, you don't talk because you have you have trauma. He's like, okay, all right. How fucking old are you? My ass.
I
you're
love
10.
that part.
My
I love
ass.
too. He's like, "You're 10? What?"
It's not like you're 10. All right, well, we're gonna
God
get out of
damn it.
here, but
I'm so happy to accept that too. I know they always try to do like smart, little kid characters in shows, but this I fully accept because her parents were Padme and Anakin. No doubt that kid's fucking snarky and bossy and like it's totally her too. You watch later movies, it's totally fucking her. All right. Anyways. Isabella Bartholomew asks, going off my question from last time, if you could have any member of Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, or Campaign 3's party come into your D&D world, who would you choose?
oh,
Did we answer this? I thought we did, but maybe we didn't.
Any
Coming
campaign?
into my world?
Like into our homebrew stuff?
Or they just exist in the world now?
Oh.
They're just causing chaos.
Yeah, I was thinking Fern just because.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it
her
would be
name, right?
cool as a world building tool to have Percy, because maybe it's like that's how guns exist.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Like, oh, and there's legendary guy. His name
Yeah.
was Percival von Husselstein
Yeah.
von Grimace McDonald's 2 for $5 chicken McNugget meal. That's what's his full name.
2 for $5 McNugget meal? That's not a thing.
And and the legend goes down that he made the guns.
Miss McDonald, my name. The 2 for $5 chicken nugget meal's my game. I also made a pistol. Oh,
Spurt. Just
Yeah.
a spurt.
just a little cameo.
Yeah. He's just a kobold that dies. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Perish then.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been playing on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
right? There was a moment when I was having in my Tuesday game. It's Mia, Pinky, Tyler, and Grace,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been playing for a little bit, and we were in this area where there are like enchanted cells that are keep prisoners alive.
By the way,
their-
I just want to say, because you talked
Yeah.
about it on the podcast before, I'm so happy you're DMing again.
Oh,
Super cool.
I'll have to update. It's doing very well. I'm
Good.
excited. Everything feels good. The first couple sessions, I felt like my rhythm come back. I
Fuck
feel good
yes,
about
dude.
it. But there's these cells. They're supposed to keep people alive because there's a whole thing. Doesn't matter. I have an NPC down that's supposed to further some kind of plot thing. And then at a point, I give this thing where like they're rattling against the cage so they know they're down there. And then Pinky goes, I bet it's a kobold. And they go, it's totally a kobold. And I was like, it's not. I was like, all right, it's totally a kobold. I'll do it. And then the whole premise is that character's supposed to pass through this doorway where they're no longer protected by this longevity spell, and they rapidly age. But like an elf, so they go from like 20 or like 100 to like 500, and then they survive.
Wow.
Because it's a kobold.
Oh no!
It ages rapidly 300 years and just dusted. So it's Pinky and Grace going, we'll let you out. And he goes, thank you, I'm free. Thanos snapped. they're like, he's a kobold. I was like, okay, he's a kobold now, but you're not going to like it. You're like,
Oh
okay.
my god.
So then they have to deal with
How did Grace react to that?
Grace blamed Pinky. Like, oh, that's on you. You should have let him out.
That's on you! Landon would live to kill any kobold, though. He didn't give a fuck.
It was a good time.
God damn
Man,
it.
kobolds in your game don't live very
No.
well.
That's what I was thinking about Spurt.
A horrible tortured
Even
life
though that
with
lived
kobolds.
forever, hundreds of years. It's like he was given freedom. Yeah.
Is that
It was
clock
the...
dead?
Huh?
Is that clock dead?
I think it is.
Well,
It is not 9:40. 8:40.
I've been just keep looking over at that fucking clock.
I gotta get out of here. It's 8:40.
Francois Anderson says, well, first off, congrats on the kid. In spirit of the joyous
you.
moment, which has been your favorite moment from the podcast.
This one.
I have two.
Yeah.
Piss Weasel.
I don't even remember that.
There's an episode. It's called the Legend
Oh,
of
no,
Piss
I
Weasel.
do. I do. You
It
tell
It
the
was
story at
Jace
the
who
end.
had a
Yeah.
Piss
Piss
Weasel,
Weasel, yeah.
and
Yeah.
honestly, Lazarus on a log on the last episode. That was so fucking funny. God damn it, dude. That was two of my favorite moments were those right there.
Shit.
Yeah.
This one right here.
When she's on?
Yeah, there you go.
I like the one where we just found out that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I say, the Questonomicon will be here soon. Can't wait to have that in my hands. And I was actually talking about the baby, not the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quest of Abacon's not even here yet.
I just spent the last week before she was born, like 45 maybe hours, staying up, sometimes not getting sleep on some days, finishing all the edits that the book needed. And it's finally done. It took me forever. I did it so much that on the second night we were at the hospital when I was sleeping, I was sleep talking and she took a video of me, and I'm not shitting you because I was so loopy and dazed that I couldn't have just did a goof and made this like a fake little thing, but like she showed me when I woke up and I was editing the book in my sleep.
Yeah.
God.
I don't. What I say doesn't make sense, but
It
I'm saying.
doesn't.
But
like the plural. The plural's wrong. The bite. The bitely.
I say the bitely. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It's like a good 20 seconds that you're talking like about. I assume editing the book.
Well, Colin Hicks asks, love you, Jacob, but this is for Spencer and Craig. Thank fuck. Gosh, they're all targeted at me.
Whoa.
You have mentioned playing the same class in video games because you know what you like. But what makes D&D different? Are there themes and similarities between your characters?
Huh.
Oh, you fucking stumped them.
I think video games is different because I've only I do it in Baldur's Gate, because I like to know what I can do, and having too much to do kind of stresses me out. But and I know that there's like a set thing that I'm gonna have to do. In D&D, it's like completely different. Everything's gonna be no one game is gonna be the same as the last.
Absolutely.
So it's like you guys see new campaigns as like a new video game.
Yeah, and the that's where it's like I like the variety of getting to do new things.
I don't know if I would play in another Tomb game if it wasn't with Tiff.
That makes sense.
So maybe it's also could be that. When you were talking about maybe doing Avernus, I was like, well, I could bring the Avernus character I have from a previous one that I've done, and I was like, well, I don't want to. And but now I'm caught in this weird like space. I'm like, I don't want to play anything else. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. Could be that. Yeah, I feel very similar. I think every time we play D&D, it's always a different game.
And I think what I do to, and I don't know if it's the same, but all of my characters are connected, so that's what I guess I get the same kind of feeling out of.
Interesting.
Is they're not all the same person, but I can find a way to connect them, and then I don't know, I get that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. I get it. That's how I feel as well. Every campaign I feel like D&D is the same game, but it's like a new story, new campaign. I want something new.
D&D is like the Xbox, but the campaign's the Mass
game.
Effect or the whatever I'm playing.
Yep. Weasley65 asks, "Hey Marcy, what do you think of your parents?" Thanks. They seem like pretty cool folks who make some pretty good content. Also, I'm sure that's what she likes about us is the content we put out. Also, if you could put any celebrity into a D&D game as an NPC, who would you do, and why is it Guy Fieri as the owner of Flavortown Tavern? That's pretty funny. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I look at my D&D games sometimes as episodes of a TV show.
Yeah.
And sometimes when there's like an episode of a TV show, like Game of Thrones did this, or sometimes sitcoms will do it, where like there's a very obvious celebrity playing a side part who's like, oh hey, I'm just here now, and then they leave. Like in a sitcom, they're like, it's always the meme of like the person walking by, they bump into them, they're like, hey, watch where you're going, and the other guy turns around, oh sorry man, and it's like some like super well-known actor in the audience is like, woo! I'd like to have those moments in my D&D games where random NPCs will have a voice or they'll look a certain way. I'll be like, this guy just looks like Michael Cera. This is the cameo of Michael Cera in the middle of this episode is what this is. And we started doing that with you, Ari, and Seymour with the changeling faces. And you guys would just pick celebrities that you looked like. They did that in Tomb 2. You guys are like, I'm Michael Cera right now. There's that comic that Moldy Sushi made where they're just like, hey Tiff, look, and it's Michael Cera.
I'm not sure if this happened in Waterdeep, but I think you were describing just like a random guy, and you were like, well, what does he look like? You're like, Michael Cera, and it's like, I'm using this.
Yeah, it's mine now.
It's mine now. Michael Cera's here. He's never leaving.
I love doing that shit.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri, though, being the owner of Fieri, being the owner of Flavortown Tavern is pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah. Dan Sheehy asks, has the baby rolled initiative yet?
No, she hasn't touched dice yet.
She will. When she rolls her first dice, I'll take a video. When Leland rolled his first dice, we took a video.
Give her a few more weeks, maybe. She'll be able to.
So fucking large compared to her. He's so big. You guys need to see them compared again. We got to have them on the podcast, and you guys got to see just the difference. Yeah. Because he's enormous.
He's large.
Yeah. Pizza emoji, not the name, it's the actual pizza emoji, asks, they say that your first shit after birthing the baby is the scariest. Is that true?
It is. It is. It was. It's gonna get a little personal right now.
I'm sorry.
So I'm currently breastfeeding our baby, and she was very hungry, but I had to poop. my daughter.
This is really funny.
Got to experience my first poop after birthing her with me. It was great. It was not great. It hurt very bad.
I can't show this picture.
It was not a good time.
She sends me a picture though where she's feeding her and she's in the bathroom and she just put the Sparkles motherhood.
Yeah. It was.
I just put you're
The scariest thing is knowing that there are stitches just a little bit further up.
Yeah.
And it was not good.
Dude, that was so funny. It was so awesome though. I was just like, look at you. You're pooping and feeding and on your phone at the same time. I was like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Medalist asks, what are your favorite playstyles in Magic and what are your current favorite decks? And I said before we cut out, thank God I want to talk about Magic.
Right.
Also, massive congratulations to you two. I hope that you all enjoy this new wild journey. Then I was talking about that, and I said, sorry guys, we cut. Yes, I said last episode that I didn't know how I was going to feel after you had the baby, and I feel the same, except I like when the sun rises now. Yeah. And honestly, genuinely, I sound like a broken record saying it to you all the time now, but like so happy, like really, really happy all the time. Like I wake up and I'm with her and I'm just super happy. Everything I'm doing, I'm just really happy. Cleaning up, she spit up all over me in my mouth. I don't care. I'm happy.
Did that happen?
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit?
Maybe when you were asleep, right before we did the podcast, she turned, looked at me and went, bleh, and it went right there. And I was like, this is fine. I don't care. And then sleeping and waking up in a cold sweat because I was having a nightmare about just death. It's okay. I woke up. I'm good now. Yeah. Just really happy all the time. So super happy she's here. We took a walk today and she was able to keep up with me. I was like, I feel like I have my wife back. This is great. Yeah. You're healing really well. Just going real good. So we're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So good that we're doing the podcast.
Yep.
Anyways, what was the question? What's your favorite playstyle in Magic and what are your current favorite decks? We have an inside joke right now that I wish I could explain to you guys, but my play style is piss on everybody's shoes. Mm-hmm. And it's because I like to play Rakdos. And if not Rakdos, I'm either playing red or I'm playing black. You won't catch me not playing those two colors. And I like to fuck with everyone. Like I don't even want to win. I just want to fuck with everybody and then die because that's all I do. And so we were describing it as like my play style is like I just like to show up and then piss on everybody's shoes, but then I'm fine. Like that's all I got to do. And they're just like, sorry guys, Jacob's gonna come over. You just let him piss on your shoes and everything will be fine. You know, you can kill him.
He won't win.
He won't win. But he just got to piss on your shoes a little bit. So just a little pee. But it's sterile. That's I really, but realistically though, I really like cards in the game that make you make choices. Like any card that goes, okay, you and another person have to pick a creature. That creature can die whenever you want. Like if that's a card, I love it. Like a card that is like reveal the top card of your deck, reveal it, and any player can choose for you not to draw that card, and then they take damage equal to its CMC. I love stuff like that. Rakdos, Lord of Riots, you have to flip a coin for every creature on the board. That's fun too.
I hate that card.
Yeah, that's the way I like to play. Is just chaos and also like Asmodeus with a contract being like, you want to sign so that I can get 15 treasure tokens.
Gib.
What is that one? What's the one where like every time somebody draws a card, if they don't pay one, you
Smothering Tide.
Yeah, Smothering Tide. I love that card, and it's white. I really like white too. I think white's my third favorite color. What's your favorite way to play Magic?
A card looks good. It's in my deck.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
The hot boy deck.
Yeah, I currently have a crazy vampire deck that I really like.
It's just all smash on every card.
Yes.
Every card's a smash.
Every card is a smash.
Yeah.
But yeah, and gaining life, making people lose life.
I noticed you really like to do like board states. Like you really like to be like, and now nobody can gain life, and it's like, oh, all right, and then you're like, and now
if you put a land out, I'm gonna gain
life. Get life, and now whenever I take damage, you guys take damage, and it's like you fucking all right. Craig, what do you like to play?
I like to play like alternative hand decks. So like my graveyard deck's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because it's like playing the game in a really abstract, different way, where like you're gonna mill everything, or cards like Prosper, where you play primarily from the exile, so your hand's like worthless. I love styles like that because I think that was the first time my like lizard brain activated, and I was like, oh, this game's so much bigger than I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why would I do something that is perceived to be negative? You know, like, because it's not. It's super powerful, and like, oh,
That
there's
is
so many
cool.
different strategies that I just can't comprehend yet. It's so
You,
cool.
you're. There's a min maxer in there, like,
Somewhere.
and not in a
No, really,
derogatory
yeah,
way.
yeah.
That, like, somewhere deep in that homebrewed fucking
Yeah.
full of flavor, Craig, deep down at that core, there's a little min maxer.
That's
Every
my-
time we play Fallout, you're like, inventory management, my favorite. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you like this?
I like managing numbers. It's my favorite thing. It's all about it.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. I see you mostly play green.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I do play a lot of green. I do play a lot of green.
Unfortunately.
I would not say it's my favorite color, but I do play a lot of green.
Well, what's your favorite color?
Probably black or blue. I like black, blue, or white, but I will say my favorite combination is probably Sultai, which is black, green, blue.
Nice.
But
I love black.
I think a lot of it's for me is I tend to lean towards those colors because the art is usually where I'm at. Where like Massacre Worm or
That's how I am with red.
Jinga Taxes, they're just so beautiful. I love the way they can make these horrible monsters still look like super appealing.
Yeah, that's like. There's some about the red cards too. They're just so explosive. They're so full of action that I just
yeah.
love them. Like I just get drawn to them because I'll
There's
see like one card. And it's like this is an item, and then I'll see a red card. I'm like, this is 3 fireballs, and it's like, well, this is just
Yeah.
fucking cooler.
Yeah,
So
there's a really cool red spell from Strixhaven with Rowan called Crackle with Power.
yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Not
that one's
only is a
awesome.
card like lethal, if it resolves, everyone's dead at the table, but it's also just so beautiful to look at.
There's another Strixhaven one. A lot of the Prismari ones are so pretty.
Yeah.
And there's this one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's there's like this, it's like a lady and she's making like a potion or she's making like a combination of something,
Yeah.
and there's like a cloud of magic in front of her, but she's like this semi-realistic art and the cloud of magic is like cartoonish looking. And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
that's so
cool.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
I love all the artwork that we have now, all the cool little artwork things.
Very cool.
I'm so happy with that because
Yep.
that's like the whole point. I love that game.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Everywhere with a bunch of threes asks, I just went on vacation to Disneyland. I went to this amazing restaurant in downtown Disney called The Black Tap. What's your favorite restaurant in downtown Disney? We went to Black Tap. It's great. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack when I walked out of it though because they gave us so much food and a gigantic milkshake that had way too much food on it that I passed out for hours afterwards and I was just like, my blood pressure. But downtown Disney, I think, no joke. This is a stupid answer. I think our favorite restaurant is Tortilla Joe's. Because
Even is
there's
that?
nothing like walking
It's
around at
Mexican
Disneyland all day
Oh, hell yeah.
and getting a fat burrito,
Yeah.
a quesadilla, and a margarita, dude.
Yeah.
It is the best, and it's so good. With like there's that bowling place that's right across the street.
Yeah.
That place is really good because it has a lot of
Splitsville?
vegetarian stuff. Yeah, Splitsville is really good. And there's the Jazz Kitchen, which is really great. They have some really good chicken and bidets. Not bidets. Fuck, beignets. God damn it. Shit.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
You want to tell them that you couldn't poop at the hospital
I
because you
couldn't.
didn't have your
I
squatty
didn't.
potty?
I couldn't shit. I couldn't. I finally did.
Yeah.
It was not fun. It was a bad time.
Your first poop after the hospital was worse than mine.
I had to shower afterwards. So I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. Beignets, which Emma calls Ben Gaze. And then there's what's the other restaurants down there? I'm trying to think. I don't really. Those are the only ones I really go to. Those are
Yeah.
the ones I like. So, but if we're at Disneyland, we're probably going Tortilla Joe's
Yeah.
because it's so good.
Yeah, we're a big fan of Tortilla Joe's.
You really can't go wrong with a fat ass burrito.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
it's something about the fact that you just killed a ton of calories.
Yeah.
Like Tortilla Joe's does not sound good to me right now, but at the end of the day at Disneyland, I'm like, all I want is that burrito and a margarita. It'll be so good. Oh man, yeah, yeah. Leftover Gabagool asks, which Elden Ring boss is your favorite, and how would you class them in D&D? Sorry, I'm really boring. Radagon's my favorite. I would class him as like a star cleric. Like cleric of, is that a star cleric a thing, or is it Twilight cleric? Yeah, he'd be like a Twilight cleric, or if not that, then a light cleric, and his theme would be like stars and stuff. I like him so much because it was kind of the idea and the envision I had for Lycus, and once I saw him on the game, I was like, holy shit, this is like the idea I had. So, I'm getting some art of
Her
Lycus.
eyes just went.
Like to the outwards.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your daughter has kobold eyes.
Sorry, ma'am.
They didn't
she's
go
a little
in.
dumb.
They went. "Ooh."
Baby, no.
Oh, they're back to normal.
Oh, okay. Did you just
Yeah, no,
you just
I
put
think
some back-
laughing
padding?
made her go. Oh.
Oh, sorry. Pay attention.
She does that when she's sleepy and she finally calms down. She goes, oh, it's like falls backwards and rolls her eyes back. It's so cute.
Back to the great beyond.
Yeah.
I also like Melania a lot. I think her design is very cool. And I also really like
I like the snake.
the snake. You like Rykard?
Yeah.
The guy with the weird voice, and he pulls a sword out of his throat, and he
That's
goes,
cool.
"Now I shall defile the gods." He sounds like that.
That's pretty cool.
No, but when he first comes out, he does like a little.
Yeah, he's a big pile, and then you walk over, and his little snake head goes, and it like
Yeah.
looks around. Yeah, it's real cute.
Yeah, but then he does become an evil like lava monster, right?
Yeah. I like Moog a lot, and when I fought him, you said he looked like Orcus, and I was like, yeah, he kind of does. Jordan asks, how does your baby feel about Strahd?
She went.
Yeah.
And no question, just wanted to let Jacob know that it's common for people with ADHD to not really react to death poorly. Oh, thank you. Actually, if you could have a celebrity guest on for a game. Whoa, we fully 180 here.
It's normal you're not sad when people die. How do you feel about celebrities?
Celebrity guest for a game, who would you want to play with?
I feel like I answered this one time. What's his name? He's in Jurassic Park.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I also picked Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
The same. There you go.
Do you know who that is?
No.
God damn it.
3 votes for
He's
the master. 3 votes for the guy in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
He is in
who it
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know who that is.
He's-
I totally know who that
he's
is.
that guy. He's the yes, he's that guy.
Oh,
He's the
okay.
he does the I don't know. I just know him from memes. I know the part. I quote him all the time when he found out that Spider-Man was possibly not going to be a part of the MCU anymore. And they're like, there may be a little breakup going on. And he goes, no, this is the first I've heard of it. I'm crestfallen. And he's like moving his hands. Like, He's such a goofy guy. And that was from Panda in plate mail with a sword. So,
that's cool.
Thanks, yeah. Well, thank you for letting me know that people with ADHD don't react to death properly, not all the time.
Also, Lacey's going through that right now because her grandfather passed. And very, very similar boat. Very similar boat.
Yeah. All right, we're going to speed through some of these questions here because
Yeah.
we're coming up to the end. But More Props Art Cosplay asks, congrats on Marceline. Thank you. Is Ronan going to be in Strixhaven when you fully play it?
Yes.
Nice. Minute Magician.
different.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out how I'm going to do that. People keep asking, they're like, but then will Ronan be a part of the world in the old? Because Ronan is so. While I was saying all that, Craig was just slowly going like it was just making less and less sense. Spencer's playing Philip
Yes.
in Evenfall.
Yes.
Philip has a son that he didn't know about.
I know that either.
Yeah, that's Ronan. Ronan is who she
Oh.
played in our Strixhaven one shot.
Oh, okay.
But then we're like, is Strixhaven in my world now?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to have Strixhaven be the fucking multiverse center and take in anybody from anywhere, even from other worlds.
Kind of what it does.
Yeah. So
Kinda what it
I
does.
really thought that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so Ronan will be from my world, but we'll be separated. He'll be portaled there via America Chavez. I don't know. But yeah. Minute Magician asks, if your D&D characters were in cars, what type of car would they be and why?
They-
No, we're fucking done.
No, we're
That's the
done.
end of the
No,